Hello guys, you are seeing Prime News Australia, where we show you the latest and important news of Australia in the fastest and reliable way. So come, let's start by not delaying 25 big updates of the Australia, especially for you. Before proceeding in the video, comment by commenting from which state you are watching, and also like video so that YouTube can reach this video to more people of Australia.
Economists have warned that if the Iran war and the US naval blockade of the Strait of Hormuz continue into the second half of 2026, Australia faces a growing risk of recession. Growth forecasts could fall to as low as 0.7%, while unemployment may rise above 5%. Soaring fuel prices are intensifying cost of living pressures across households and businesses. The Albanese government has confirmed it is not considering any military involvement in the US Navy's blockade of the Strait of Hormuz, despite the new Defence Force chief stating the ADF stands ready if asked. Australia is prioritising diplomatic efforts and securing alternative fuel routes. Foreign Minister Penny Wong and the Prime Minister are engaging with Asian partners to ensure energy security amid the ongoing Middle East conflict. Lieutenant General Susan Coyle has been named the next Chief of Army, becoming the first woman to hold the position in the Australian Army's 125-year history. The major defence leadership reshuffle, announced by Prime Minister Anthony Albanese and Defence Minister Richard Marles, also includes Vice Admiral Mark Hammond as the new Chief of the Defence Force and Rear Admiral Matthew Buckley as Chief of Navy. Changes take effect from July. Qantas has reduced its domestic flying capacity by 5% and increased fares in response to surging jet fuel costs caused by the Middle East conflict. The airline forecasts fuel expenses of $3.10 to $3.3 billion for the second half of the financial year. This move will affect travel nationwide as the carrier adjusts its network and international operations to manage the sharp rise in refinery costs. Major retailers, including Bunnings and Kmart, have temporarily scrapped delivery fees on many items to ease cost of living pressures on households hit by record fuel prices. The decision by one of Australia's largest retail groups comes as the global energy crisis triggered by the Iran war drives up transport and logistics costs across the country. Customers are expected to benefit immediately from the relief measure. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has previewed significant structural changes to the $55 billion National Disability Insurance Scheme in the upcoming federal budget. He also indicated plans to scrap certain investor tax breaks as part of broader spending reforms. The announcements come amid economic uncertainty caused by the fuel crisis and rising cost of living pressures on Australian families. At the Australian Athletics Championships in Sydney, 18-year-old sprint sensation Gout set a new national record in the 200 metres with a time of 19.67 seconds, smashing the previous mark of 20.02 seconds. Second-place finisher Aidan Murphy also broke the old record with 19.88 seconds. The event highlighted the emergence of exceptional young talent in Australian track and field. The four-day AFL Gather Round in South Australia attracted a record-breaking crowd of more than 270,000 fans. Geelong maintained their winning streak against West Coast, while Essendon secured an upset victory over Melbourne, ending a long losing run. Fans enjoyed close interactions with players, making the event a huge success for the Code and the host state. A treacherous rescue operation unfolded on Sydney's northern beaches when two teenagers became trapped at a notorious blowhole amid dangerous surf conditions. Emergency services carried out a difficult and risky operation to safely extract the pair. The incident highlighted the hazards of the popular coastal area and the professionalism of local rescue teams working in challenging conditions. Authorities have released further information about how a detainee from Villawood Immigration Detention Centre allegedly escaped custody while receiving treatment at Bankstown Hospital. The security breach is under investigation as questions are raised about protocols during medical escorts. The incident has sparked concerns over immigration detention management and potential vulnerabilities in the system. In response to record-high petrol and diesel prices caused by the global energy crunch, the federal government has halved the fuel excise tax for 3 months starting early April. The temporary cut will cost taxpayers around $2.55 billion, but aims to provide immediate relief to motorists and businesses struggling with the impact of the Middle East conflict. Victoria has made all public transport free throughout April, while Tasmania has extended free fares until the end of June. The measures aim to encourage commuters to leave their cars at home and reduce pressure on fuel supplies amid soaring prices. Other states have so far declined to follow suit as households grapple with the cost of living crisis. Alongside the historic appointment of the first female Chief of Army, the government has named Vice Admiral Mark Hammond as the new Chief of the Defence Force. Rear Admiral Matthew Buckley will become Chief of Navy. The changes, effective from July, come at a time of heightened global tensions and focus on securing vital trade routes. Federal opposition is preparing policies to crack down on subversive migrants and deport thousands of unauthorized individuals. The push comes amid ongoing debates about temporary population levels, visa vetting processes, and social media screening for applicants. Coalition figures argue stronger measures are needed to maintain community safety and manage immigration. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese and senior ministers are visiting Brunei and Malaysia this week to negotiate new fuel and fertilizer supply agreements. The diplomatic push is part of efforts to secure Australia's energy needs as disruptions from the Strait of Hormuz blockade continue to affect global oil markets and domestic prices. Australian markets and global oil prices reacted sharply to President Trump's decision to impose a naval blockade on the Strait of Hormuz. Experts warn of prolonged impacts on energy costs, freight rates, and inflation. The move follows failed peace talks and has heightened fears of extended supply disruptions for countries like Australia. Australian unions are demanding increased vehicle allowances for employees who rely on cars for work, citing the sharp rise in fuel prices due to the Middle East crisis. The call aims to protect workers from additional financial strain amid broader cost of living pressures affecting households nationwide. 8 individuals who displayed extraordinary courage during the Bondi Junction stabbing incident, which claimed 6 lives and injured 10 others, will be honoured with bravery awards. The recognition highlights community heroism in the face of tragedy and the swift actions that helped limit further harm. ABC's Media Watch program has examined allegations of violence against regional media owner Anthony Catalano as his news empire continues to face decline. The episode also discussed challenges facing traditional media outlets in the current landscape, including the impact of digital platforms and AI-generated content summaries. Bones discovered during construction work on Rottnest Island have been forensically confirmed to have Indigenous ancestry. The finding has prompted further cultural and historical assessments, raising important questions about site management and respect for First Nations heritage in Western Australia. Mine in the Northern Territory has cited escalating fuel costs and supply disruptions caused by the global energy crisis as the primary reason for its operational closure. The decision highlights the broader impact of the Middle East conflict on resource industries and regional economies across Australia. Olympian Jess Hull overcame a heavy fall during the 1500 metres to bounce back and win the 5 km event at the Australian Athletics Championships in Sydney. Her resilience and fighting spirit were praised as she rounded out a strong performance across the national titles. 2 separate incidents in Sydney's west saw homes in Punchbowl and Greenacre sprayed with bullets. Police are investigating the targeted attacks, which have raised fresh concerns about ongoing gang-related violence and firearms crime in suburban areas of New South Wales. Stronger than expected government revenues have been reported in the lead-up to the May federal budget. The positive figures provide some fiscal buffer as policymakers navigate economic uncertainty caused by the fuel crisis, cost of living pressures, and global energy volatility. More Australians are moving back in with family members or even ex-partners due to escalating housing costs and cost of living pressures exacerbated by high fuel prices. The trend reflects the financial strain many households are experiencing amid the ongoing economic challenges. The upcoming 4-day visit by the Duke and Duchess of Sussex to Melbourne has raised questions about potential taxpayer costs for security and policing, despite the tour itself being privately funded. Security experts estimate the public safety operations could run into hundreds of thousands of dollars. Home values in Brisbane and Perth are forecast to increase by up to $50,000 in the coming months, defying some national trends and interest rate concerns. Strong local demand continues to support these markets, even as the broader economy faces fuel-related headwinds. The Bureau of Meteorology has forecast increased rainfall across northern parts of Queensland associated with the remnants of ex-tropical cyclone Mila. Storms are also expected in western regions. Australians are advised to stay updated on local warnings as the system continues to influence national weather patterns.